edition of Musical Menus Live. I hope you're going to have a little bit of fun today. Now before we start, I just need to say a few hellos. First of all, to my nieces, Elizabeth and Emma. Hi girls, I hope you're all ready to cook. And their friends, Ava and Jack. Right, and I think there's a few more people. Emily and Morgan, are you watching? I feel like I'm on Romper Room or something like that. And Jamie, hi Jamie. Jamie, you're going to come and cook with me soon, aren't you? I hope so. And of course, Lauren Kidd. I don't know whether Lauren Kidd's watching today. If you are, hi Lauren, how you going? Right, now let's make sure we've got all of our ingredients today. First of all, we are going to need plain flour. There we go, that's my plain flour container there. We've also got rolled oats. You can make porridge out of them too. So some rolled oats there, some coconut, yummy coconut. We almost didn't get coconut because the shops ran out. I think everyone's making Anzac biscuits. And of course, some brown sugar. If you don't have brown sugar, you could make it with white sugar, I suppose, but brown sugar is really nice, sort of a molassesy type flavour. So that's all of our dry ingredients that we need, basically. Then we need some golden syrup, which is really hard and really sticky to measure out. We're just going to pour, I think, that one. We're going to have some butter, which we're going to melt, and some bicarb soda or baking soda. And this stuff's really fun because you can actually, it's sort of like a science experiment. It all fluffs up and does fantastic things. So the first thing we need to do is get, all the things we need. Have you got a bowl and a spoon, couple of spoons, teaspoon measure there, a cup for measuring. I'm also going to measure out the butter using my scales. If you don't have scales, it's about half one of those 250 gram butters. So if you can work that out. You also need baking trays. Now I'm going to put mine on 2 baking trays because I know that I like to spread them out a bit. And of course, some baking paper. So we'll get to them later. I'll just put them over here. I've also got my trusty little stove here so I don't have to go over here. Right, so let's, these I made yesterday. Oh, they smell so good. We'll put them away too. Right, let's start. First of all, we need to get all of our dry ingredients into a bowl. Here we go. Let's start with the plain flour. 1 cup of plain flour. Now, like we did last week, if you don't want to make a mess, put your cup measure inside the bowl or over the flour like that and tip it in there. There we go. 1 cup, a little bit more there. Tip it into the bowl. That's good. Let's get rid of that flour. What's next? Brown sugar. Okay, we need 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. So not quite full to the top there. Pour that in there. Brown sugar is a bit funny because it does clump a bit, doesn't it? So you might find that you need to sort of just press it down into the cup to make sure you've got about the right amount. That's about 3/4 of a cup there. You're also going to need to break this up a little bit when we stir because brown sugar does tend to be a little bit on the clumpy side. So there we go, our brown sugar's in. Getting there, what's next? Let's do our coconut next. 1 cup of coconut. Pour it over the bowl, that one. Quite easy. Here we go. 1 cup of coconut. Now there's lots of different sorts of coconut. You can actually get shredded coconut. I haven't tried that, but I think I might next time because I think that might be nice. Shredded coconut in there. But most times you use this desiccated coconut. Right, let's get our oats ready. Here we've got our oats. Rolled oats. I think I'm going to have porridge soon. Porridge tends to be one of those cold weather things, doesn't it? So it's getting a little bit cold. Not too cold, but I love porridge in the morning. Here we go. 1 cup of oats into the bowl. There we go. That's all of our dry ingredients organised. Are you keeping up? We've got it all in there. Now, grab your spoon. One thing we need to do is mix this up, but we also need to break up that brown sugar a little bit. So give it a nice stir. You really want to get this all combined. You don't want to have little clumps of sugar or anything that's not mixed in really well. So just like I did last time, I find it's really good to scoop into the middle and turn the bowl with the other hand. That means you're getting a nice even mix. Breaking up that brown sugar. Look, there's lots of little clumps of brown sugar in there. Just break them up with a spoon. Now you can do this in your mixer if you want, but I thought it would be nice and easy today just to do it in a bowl because we really don't want to make that much mess. So here we go. How are you going there? Getting all that organised. That's nearly there. I can see little things of brown sugar still in there. Let me just give them a bit of a squash. Make sure they're all incorporated there. Keep going. No, look, there's still more there. Just keep mixing until that's all mixed together. There we go. You can see there, all of those ingredients are all mixed in together. Really nice. A couple of little lumps of brown sugar there, but I think that's going to be pretty good. Okay, next we need to do the fun part. We need to melt the butter. Now, the best way to do this is on the stove top. But if you don't want to use the stove top, you can do it in the microwave. But it's sort of fun. So I'm just going to turn this machine here on. Over here. There we go. It's making a little bit of a noise there. Now we need 125 grams of butter. So I've got my scales here. Let's just get them organised. What I'm going to do is put the plate on there. Hit 0 so it goes back to 0. There we go. 125 grams. Now I find when you're melting things like butter, especially if it's cold, it's really good to cut it into small pieces. Because if you have a big lump of butter, it's going to be really cold in the middle, and by the time it melts in the middle, it's been in the saucepan way too long. So let's just start off by cutting a little chunk like that, and then cutting it into little fingers, and then line all those little fingers up, and then cut them into little squares, and that'll melt really, really fast. Okay, put this on our plate here. I hope you washed your hands beforehand, because we're going to get very dirty hands by the end of this if you didn't. There we go. Well, that's not much. That's only 73 grams. So we'll keep going. Another one of those. Probably won't need all of that. Let's have a look. 125 we're looking for. 110. I reckon about that much is probably enough. 100. There we go. Perfect. Right, let me just put my butter away. Put that over here. Now we're going to melt it. So if you don't want to do this yourself, you can get a parent, mum or dad, grandma, grandpa, anyone who's old enough to do this without worrying about getting burnt. So got to work out how to use this. On. Seems to be going on. I can hear noise. Okay, now we need to get a spatula or something to stir with. Spatula's quite good here. So put that in the saucepan. Get that melting away. Whoops, lost one bit there. Now, we're going to put golden syrup. Now, we're supposed to put 2 tablespoons of golden syrup in. It's really hard measuring golden syrup, isn't it? Because it's so sticky, it goes everywhere. So we can try, but it's very hard getting it off the spoon. So what I find the best way to do it is this. 1, 2, that'll do. You don't really need to measure it, do you? And there's a nice spoon there covered in golden syrup, which I'm just going to eat. Now, another thing you need to remember, I don't know about you, but we have a lot of ants in this suburb. If I don't wash that down and it's got little bits of sugar on it, it gets attacked by ants. In fact, sometimes I come back and there've been ants inside that. So I'm just going to put that over here and I'm going to wash that later. Now let me just get some kitchen towel. Okay, so we're melting away here. Everything's melting nicely. Can't really see it. Can you see in there? I don't want to tip it everywhere. It's melting down. Just keep going until it's all completely melted and get your bicarb ready. This is the fun part. This is the bit that's like a mad science experiment here. And get your teaspoon. This one you do really have to measure it out because you don't want to put too much bicarb in there. So here we go, getting it all melted. There's a couple of little bits. This is why it's really good to actually cut them into small bits because that's almost melted now. And that wasn't on very long, was it? Not at all. Keeping on going here. Nearly there. We'll just stand around, shall we? Did anyone get up for a dawn service this morning on the footpath? Actually, I hate to say it, but we didn't. We were very tired from setting this up last night. But anyone who did, well done. Okay, here we go. That's all melted. Now, this is the fun part. I wonder if I can get this on camera. It's going to be difficult. Let's put this here. We need to get our bicarb. 1 teaspoon only, so make sure it's just 1. Now, let's see if we can see this. I'm going to tip this in and I'm going to stir it. And hopefully, what's going to happen is it's all going to froth up. I don't think you can see that. It's a bit hard with this big pot. But it all froths up. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to make these biscuits nice and light and yummy and everything. In fact, I've got no idea what it's for. But anyway, it's like a science experiment. Can we see that? Where's a spoon? It's sort of gone a little bit like bubbles, hasn't it? Look at that. It's like some mad, weird science experiment. Okay, so give that a nice stir in. That's pretty much ready to go. Let's just clear everything out of the way now first, so we can get organised. Now we'll move this to the side. Be very careful of that pot because that is actually still hot. Now the next thing we need to do is just combine the two. So that's all organised in there, nice and mixed in, that's good. So get your pot very carefully if it's hot. Maybe get someone to help you. And pour that yummy, look at that, all bubbly. It's so good. Smells so good too because of that golden syrup in there. Now, if you happen to be vegan, of course, instead of the butter, you can actually use like a Nuttelex or some sort of non-dairy butter. These I actually made yesterday. These are actually vegan, so I didn't have any butter in these at all. I put a Nuttelex in, and it works exactly the same as butter. Here we go. Okay, now we need to get this all combined. So same thing. It's going to look a bit weird because it's going to look like, well, that's not actually wet enough. There's not enough wet ingredients in here, but you just need to keep stirring. Go right to the bottom of your bowl. Just keep stirring that through, and eventually, hopefully, it will all turn into beautiful biscuit batter. Mine's going pretty well. Keep stirring. I don't want to see any dry bits in this at all. So sometimes when you make a cake, you don't want to overbeat it, and there might be a couple of little dry bits there. But I think for this biscuit one, no, we need to get all of that batter incorporated. All that yummy biscuit dough ready. That's pretty good. Just keep stirring. If you find that maybe, depending on the flour you're using, the oats you're using, you can add a couple of tablespoons of water to this mix here, just to sort of bump it up a little bit. But I reckon this is pretty good. Now what it should do is it should just get to a consistency where it's starting to clump, which is really good. Can you see that? It's starting to get these little clumps. That's what you want, because you want them to stay together when you cook them. Okay, just keep stirring that up. How are we going? Has everyone got their mixture all made? Press it down with the thing. You can tell, back of the spoon, you can tell if it's staying together. Look at that. That's pretty good. That's all sort of staying in one piece there. Righto. Just wash my hands here. Now we need to organise our oven trays. So grab your oven trays. Here are mine. I've got 2 great big visible biscuit trays. So we need some baking paper. If you can get this off easily, good for you. I never do. There we go. One there. And one more here. Great. Okay, now I find there's a few little things that I do when I'm making biscuits. You don't want to put too many biscuits on the plate at once, on the tray at once, because they do tend to spread out a bit. So this is a time when you are going to need clean hands. So I'm just going to give mine a quick wash. There we go, because you do actually want to use your hands for making these biscuits, because that's the only way you can sort of roll them out. I've seen some people do it with an ice cream scoop, but I find it's just easier this way. So get about a heaped tablespoon of the mixture like that. Depends how big you want these biscuits to be. Put it in your hand and give it a squeeze. When you squeeze it, it'll all come together. See that? How it's all gone into one big lump when you squeeze it together? Now, we've got a ball there. How big is that? It's like a ping pong ball or something like that. Just put that on your tray there and just keep going. Take And sometimes it's easier just to use your hands, isn't it? Here we go. Squeeze it in your hands. Give it a bit of a roll if you need to get it a bit smoother. Put it on the tray. I'm going to do 3 rows of 3 here. So let's have a look how much we got here. There we go, give it a nice squeeze. Sometimes those oats fall out of it, but it doesn't really matter. These will spread a little bit. So just keep doing that, squeezing it in your hand. Put it on your baking sheet. Well, that one's a little big, but that doesn't matter either. We don't have to be too fussy, do we? Here we go. How many do you think this is going to make? I don't think we're going to get 2 trays worth, but we might. Let's just see how we go. Now, do you like crispy Anzac biscuits or do you like chewy Anzac biscuits? This is something everyone always asks. Go, oh, I really like the crispy ones. Oh, I really like the chewy ones. I prefer the chewy ones myself. So don't leave them in the oven too long if you like the chewy ones. But if you like the crispy ones, just leave them in a little bit longer and they'll go a little bit harder. I think we're nearly there on one sheet. One more there in the corner. I'm not going to get 2 sheets, but I might get a couple more on that other one. How's everyone going? Are we going all right? Not too fast? Now, just press them down just a little bit. They will spread out a bit, but it depends on how big you want these biscuits to be, and they won't fall apart, but once it all melts together, they will be absolutely fine. Carefully press them down. If they crumble a bit, just put them back together. That'll be fine. Right, there's one tray. My very messy hands. Let's do a few more. I might get another 3 or 4 out of this. There's another one. Can I tell you a secret? This makes a really good topping for baked apples. Apple crumble. Oh, I love apple crumble. If you make this, you could keep some of this, bake some apples in the oven, put this on top of it. Absolutely delicious. You get this nice Anzac biscuit sort of crumble on the top. How many more should I do? It's getting a little bit crumbly there. I might do 2 more here, just so we've got lots for morning tea. There we go, that last one, that'll do. I think that's about enough. Press them down just a little bit. Now you can make these really big. I've seen a few people making these on Facebook and they make great big ones. Really good, but I like these little ones. I'm just going to wash my hands, get all of this bits of biscuit off my hands. Oh, grab some paper towel. Okay. Right, our biscuits are ready to go in the oven. I probably should have mentioned, you do need your oven on, 180 degrees. We're going to put them in there for about 7 to 8 minutes. So we really just have to put a timer on and wait. So let's just get these into the oven now. Put this one in first. One in there. And then this one in. Okay, let's put the timer on for 7 minutes. Nearly 7 minutes. Really important to put your timer on because sometimes if you're cooking and you're doing other things at the same time, you can forget and you can leave things in the oven and all of a sudden you find you've got burnt biscuits. Right, well, we're done. Our biscuits are cooking in the oven. What are we going to do now? I could clean up, but that's a bit boring, isn't it? Or we could sing a song. That's a really good idea. Why don't we sing a song? I happen to have a version of Waltzing Matilda. What better day to sing Waltzing Matilda? I've got this fantastic version. I orchestrated it up so it sounds like an orchestra. It's not really an orchestra, but it sort of sounds like an orchestra. Now I want you to sing along with me. if you only know the chorus, why don't you sing along in the chorus? Otherwise, you can sing the whole thing with me if you want. Now, I was actually going to play cello as well, because someone last time said play us a tune. I was going to play cello, but it's really hard to do that, and you know, it's really hard to find cellists just standing around anywhere. You know, I mean, who has a cellist standing in their kitchen? I mean, nobody does, Rick. Oh, hi Matthew.
Hi, Craig.
Oh, this is Matthew Kinmont from the Queensland Symphony Orchestra. What are you doing in my kitchen?
I knew you were cooking and I wanted to help, but I figured
Right,
you probably wouldn't let me.
I'll give you some biscuits later. Let me just get you a chair.
Hi, everybody.
Here we go.
Hi, Gary.
There we go. You get organised there. Okay. Can you see that? Right, 5 minutes. We've got 5.5 minutes to sing this song. Are we ready with the music there? Okay, I've never done this before, so who knows really what's going to happen. Are you all set?
Yep.
You ready to go?
Good to go.
Right, well, let's give it a go. A little bit of a Facebook Live cooking class and concert waltzing with it. Everyone ready to sing? Right, hit the music. Swagman camped by a billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You come a waltzing Matilda with me. Sing with me! Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. To grab him with glee, and he sang as he shoved that jumbuck in his tuckaber. Come a waltzing Matilda with me. Here we go! Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you come a waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boy. Come a waltzing Matilda with me. Up rode the squatter, mounted on his thoroughbred. Up rode the troopers, 1, 2, 3. With that jolly jumbuck you've got in your tucker bag, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Up jumped the swagman and sprang into the billabong. You'll never catch me alive, said he. And his ghost may be heard when you pass by that billabong. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Come a waltzing Matilda. best kitchen cello playing I think I've ever heard. Yeah, right, now get out.
I'm touched.
Right. Too many cellists in this kitchen. Let's see what our oven's doing. 49 seconds, 49 seconds. Gotta get ready, gotta get ready. Gotta get this ready. Oh, I better get another one. Get this ready. Put our biscuits out. 35 seconds! Oh no. Don't panic, they're fine. Let's just wait, shall we? We'll just stand here and wait. That baking soda's worked. They've gone from being little squish things puffed up. That's what baking soda does. Oh, they smell so good. How are yours smelling? Are yours in the oven yet? I hope so. What are we going to do next video? I think we're going to do some more biscuits, I think. 8, 7, here we go. Are you ready? Very exciting, isn't it? The most exciting biscuit baking I've ever done. Ah, there we go. No, another minute. It's going to stand here for a minute. It's going to stand here, do nothing. So, what are we going to do next time? A minute. I've just got to check. Yes, 26. We've got a really cute little biscuit we could do next time. They're called chocolate crinkle biscuits, and they're little chocolate balls, and you sort of roll them in icing sugar, and when they bake, they get all these little cracks in them. They're really cute. Should we do them? I think we'll do them. I might even see if I can get another musical guest. That was sort of fun. I enjoyed that. And then after that, I think the week after that, we're going to do some really special cupcakes. These have got coconut, lemon and carrot in them. They're actually a vegan cupcake, but they're absolutely delicious. They're the best cupcake I do. Smelling good, smelling good. Don't worry, don't panic, don't panic. Now, if you like these videos, you can go to my Musical Menus YouTube page. Lots of videos on there. In fact, I put one up just yesterday making a capsicum sauce. That is so easy. I reckon that any kid could make that for mum and dad or parents or grandparents or anyone in the family. So give that a go. I'm on Facebook, obviously, you know, because you're here. I put photos on Instagram sometimes. And of course, the Socially site. Make sure you go to the Socially site. They've got some fantastic videos on there. Some exercise videos. As you can see, I've been doing them. Don't laugh. He's laughing. How rude. Right, I think we can take those biscuits out now. Oh, here we go. That's one tray. There we go. Now, there is a secret to biscuits. You might find when you take them out, you go, oh no, they're not done. They're still soft. That's what biscuits do. Now, I could actually put some of these back in the oven for another couple of minutes if I want them a little bit crunchier. In fact, I'm going to try that. I'm going to put these ones back in there. We're just going to leave them in there for another couple of minutes. But these, once they cool down, they will start to go hard. Now, why is that, do you think? Why am I taking something out of the oven that's not quite cooked? Well, of course, you've got things like butter and sugar in here, which are in a different state. When we have them on the bench, they're actually quite solid. When we mix them up, they go into liquid. Put them in the oven, they go very liquid, but they get nice and cooked. And then as they cool, it goes back to a solid again. So basically, these biscuits, at the moment, I can't even pick one up because they're still not really hard enough. But in about an hour's time, you'll find that you can actually eat them and they'll be absolutely delicious. So we'll just sort of see what these ones do. I think they'll go a little bit crunchier. I think that's it. Thanks to Matthew Kinmont. Yay, Matthew Kinmont. Yay, I can hear everyone clapping. And of course my husband Gary, who's been filming behind the scenes here and playing music. And we even have my tag today. So we'll see you next week for some chocolate crinkle cookies. Keep a lookout on social media. We'll tell you what to get and when we're going to do it. Here we go. Thank you. Goodbye.